guys, so you know we're all about safety first. We brought you Matt out here to talk about bears, and we want to talk about the other important thing to know about, especially if you're searching in the Montana regions, rattlesnake. And who better to talk rattlesnakes than our own personal snake expert? He's a pilot. He's a star of Golden Greed. And yes, just like us, he's a treasure hunter. We've got Lou B here. I'm Emma.
I'm Jam.
And I'm Lou.
And we are Treasure Hunt with us. And we are so excited. I was just on your site. You're at 98,700, less than 1,300 away from being 100,000. That's, first of all, amazing. And you have some amazing videos on there. You have pilot stuff. You have snake stuff. The most recent one, you just encountered a ton of vipers, deadly vipers, I might add.
Well, thanks so much on the the YouTube early congrats for the 100K. It hasn't happened yet, but it's been like 10 years in the making. So hopefully this summer we'll get there. We'll see. It's just for fun. It's just, I don't know. It's been a goal of mine forever. And it's, again, I don't do it for money or anything else. I just do it because I like to share what I love. And the fact that people want to watch a 50-something-year-old guy chase snakes around the world is a little frightening, actually. But anyway, there's other people like me, I guess, out there, so it's not so bad.
Well, I mean, you say that, but you have actually, and this blew my mind, you have 44,250,463 views. That's what? 44 million people have watched content that you've created. That's incredible. Like, what a testament to what you're putting out there.
There's a little bit of luck involved in that, I think. You know, the getting bit in the eye or having a giant hornet come near you, and it's the weird stuff that seems to get the views. It's not always the videos that I put a lot of time and effort into that get the rewards, but it's cool. People watch. I enjoy it. I'm glad they enjoy it as well.
Right.
I love that you say getting the luck of getting bit in the eye. That was lucky. So most people would find that unlucky. But man, I can't believe they showed that on Golden Greed. I know I watched your other interview that you didn't even have a choice. You're watching Golden Greed. Did they portray everything right for you, or did they not portray everything right for you?
Yeah, they got most of it right. Well, I mean, they got all of it right. Editing is a very creative process, and you can make just about any story you want out of enough video. But they told our story, pretty correctly. We went at it more than just the one, or I think it showed us going out once and then coming back again to do it again. But we actually went out like 3 times over a couple years. But since we didn't actually get to the spot I wanted to get to, they had to get a little creative with the story, and it was portrayed pretty well. It was fun to watch, I thought, notwithstanding the fact that we're in it. I thought it was a good show to watch. I think the guys from Texas really stole the show. But
No, it was great. But I loved something like, here's the thing. No matter how you look at this, I mean, you're a hunter, right? And so you understand one of the things is that, like, your coordinates made sense. All of the research you did made sense. Any person who had that data would have been searching on that spot, Lou. So I get why immediately, but I mean, we talk all the time about until you have a box in your hand, you can make it, you can have the best solve in the world, right? But it wasn't just you. There's 350,000 forest fen hunters.
Yeah, it's tough to feel like you're like right there and then you're like 2 states away from where it really was. So, I mean, what are you going to do? It was the thrill of the chase, and that's what it was. It's kind of stemmed from my crazy chasing snakes around the world, that I'd like to get outside and get outdoors and find things. And then when I came across the treasure hunt, I was like, yeah, not for me. I'm not into poetry, but then I got a little more into it, and I'm like, maybe I can find this thing. And it became a, passion.
I hate the poetry, Lou. I hate the poetry.
She does. But you definitely see the passion. I loved your guys' story because it was family. You guys had your family out there, your wife, your kids and stuff like that, who are, of course, grown up now and stuff, drinking the Starbucks and having a good time. And I see your videos now. You have so much family in there. And I think that's such an important message. I think that's a big reason why Netflix is like, let's get all this stuff in there, because you did it with your family. You did so much with your family, and that's just so important. It's just good time together. So
it didn't hurt that you had a snake.
Yeah, speaking of family, my wife just walked in the door. She might No, she's not.
Oh,
She's
no,
she's giving me the
no.
no.
Listen, that's
No.
okay.
We love you though.
We love you.
You got to lean in and say hi at least.
Hi.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Carrie,
much.
I've been dying to talk to you. You don't have to, but maybe we'll have a mom talk someday because I think it had to be so crazy to have your kids out there. Because I think it's so cool that you guys include your kids. My kids are now grown, but I think it would have been so cool to have your kids on all this.
Yeah, it was super fun. Definitely very fun.
Yes, nice little bonus there. So so you have your kids, but you also your whole family's in all your videos, and they're around snakes too. Just none of them are scared.
Yeah, there's really the whole fear thing is kind of irrational. I'll sort of get into that, but yeah. So they sort of my whole snake hobby. I always liked reptiles as a kid, and then with my airline travels, I liked getting outside. Then I started finding a few snakes, and I'm like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel just so I can document to my family what I'm doing on my overnights. And my first few videos were like awful. Like I couldn't watch. I'm like, I can't watch this. And then it became more of a, how do I make a decent video that people want to watch? And that has become a passion of itself, is video editing and creating and telling a story. And in the beginning, I didn't even put myself in the videos. I didn't want to be in the videos. There's no way I was going to do that. But if you don't have somebody, a face behind the voice, it's you sort of get lost. So I forced myself to be in front of the camera, which is not my favorite place to be. But so I've been telling stories, and then the family is part of my story. So every time we go out, if they're around, they've gotten older now, so they don't always join me. But we try and do things together as a family and share memories and make memories. And that's what it's all about, I think.
For sure. And it's interesting. So you talk about like your videos that you're making. I have to tell you, and the video you made called Epic Encounter at 35,000 feet, where you're actually flying east into the sunrise, and you see another 747 below you, and you're like, oh, they're going that way too. I mean, truly, Discovery Channel, Travel Network, if you're watching this, lose your guy. You need him because there's something about the way you tell the story that makes you feel like you're part of the journey. And that's a gift. Not everybody has that. Take it for what it's worth. I would watch your travel videos for sure.
Yeah. Well, well, my wife and I, we're going to go. It's going to be our 25th anniversary coming up here in June. So we're going to Tahiti, and we will be making a Sherry and Lou Take on the World or something video.
That's
so
awesome.
we'll put that out
My
there.
anniversary is in June too, and I'm 25 years as well. So that's
crazy.
That's good luck.
We'll see you in Tahiti then, maybe?
Yeah.
Unlike you, I'm going to be in Montana in June. Mine will be spent at a book signing. I'm not as cool as you. I don't get to go to Tahiti, but I do get to go somewhere cool.
I would like to. We're going to miss the book signing by one day, actually. We come back on the 22nd. I think the signing is on the 21st.
It's on the
21st. It would have been otherwise.
But you are in Tahiti, so I feel like it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But you are hunting right now.
It's definitely going to be okay.
Yeah. Right. So you're hunting right now. You're doing JCB's hunt. You've been working past and future. Is there any reason you started with past and future and not forest fen?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. I would have loved to jump into the forest fen box, but it just seemed a little too close to home still. I was like, all right, I'm moving out of that. I want to move into something different. And somehow I saw a crossword puzzle, and I'm like, well, this can't be that hard, right? So that's why I picked that one. There's a lot more to that, I think, than just a crossword puzzle. But I think I'm actually pretty close to where it might be, or I'm a couple states away again. Who knows? We'll
it's all about having the fun, and I love that you say that. It's so funny as we talk to a lot of forest fen searchers, and hardly any of them work in the forest fen box. Probably because it was just too fresh. They had so many years of searching, I guess, and stuff like that, because we weren't in the forest fen hunt. So we're like, oh, we don't want to try forest fen because all the forest fen people are going to have a huge advantage. But it doesn't seem to be that way, I guess.
No, I think it might be a disadvantage. I think, I don't know if I'm supposed to tie in some of the forest fen into his forest fen box, or is it totally somewhere else? So I don't want to, I feel like I might skew my search based on, stuff that's not really, it just leads me there because of the past, not because of his actual box. So I've stepped back from that one. I'm going to find the one in Lake Tahoe first, and then I'll go into the next one.
I love it. If you find it in Lake Tahoe, it's going to be bad for me because I've been telling Jim that it's not there. I've been telling him it's in North Carolina, and he's like, it's definitely 100% there. So, but that said, there's a lot of arguments for the reason I say that. But I'm a fan of being open-minded till it can be anywhere until it's found.
Yeah, and I say when I find it there as a joke. I mean, like,
no, of course.
I think it's there. I have a spot that I think makes sense, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I'm right. I don't have the box with me, or do I? You guys want to reveal this right here on the
yeah. We should definitely do it. People didn't know. This is actually surprise we found a box episode.
Surprise, we got a box. No, but so that's the thing is,
Jim's right. You better not title it like that.
Yeah, I know, right? They'll be like, a box is found by Lou B. What? No.
Yes.
They would know. They'd be like, he's such a jokester. But I know you have Justin's book. You have not necessarily started working it yet, but I think the thing you're going to find is there's a few recurring themes when you get into Justin's books. One of them is going to be shocking. It's raccoons. But the other thing is like an ode to rattlesnakes. And I was boots on the ground in Montana, I don't know, 2 or 3 times now. And I'll tell you that everywhere in the Dillon area, which is currently the most commonly sought or looked at place, everywhere is just hammered with rattlesnakes. So what do people need to know if they come across a rattlesnake?
Okay, well, first off, I guess I got to go there if there's snakes everywhere, because most places people think there are snakes everywhere, but they're not as common as people think. They're sort of hard to find, and they typically find you. You don't find them. And the rattlesnakes in that area, you got prairie rattlesnakes are the predominant species of rattlesnakes in that area. They're like most rattlesnakes. They're not aggressive. They're not out to bite you. They use their venom to kill what they eat, and they don't want to waste it on you. So even if you see one before it sees you or before you step on it, realistically, if you just stay still, don't do anything, it will most likely stay still as well, relying on camouflage. So it's just going to not move until you move. Now, if you get too close, then it will actually try and leave the area. So it first freezes, second it tries to flee, and only when it can't do those two things is when it actually does the rattlesnake, where it rattles and you're like, hey, I'm a rattlesnake, don't mess with me. So typically when you see a rattlesnake, that's not what you get. In fact, when you see all the videos on, whether it be Netflix or TV, and here's a rattlesnake, well, you got to get it to do that for the camera, so to speak. Now, it will do it, but it's not the normal behavior. The normal is camouflage followed by fleeing, and then the third is rattling. So, if there's one in the bush somewhere and it's concealed and you step too close, it may buzz you. I don't know if you've heard that before. It's definitely a bone-chilling experience.
It's funny because we were just, like I said, we were just in Montana probably about 4 weeks ago, and we were out in an area called Sawtooth on a trail. And the 3 days before that, there had been tremendous bear sightings. So, and it was Scott, he's on our team. He's actually my husband. He's on our team, and we always joke about like the different sides of the coin. Like, I'm terrified of bears. He's more afraid of rattlesnakes. He actually said, and Lou, I don't get it. He said, I'd rather be bit by a bear than a rattlesnake. I've got a greater chance of living, because he says a rattlesnake bite is that venomous. And all I can think is, what? That bear is 700 pounds and you're meat. He's going to eat you.
Yeah.
And I promised him I'd tell you that because he's like, it's the funniest. Yeah. He's like, I really mean it. But we were up there, and I mean, you heard the rattle go off, and I knew immediately what it was. And he's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, just keep walking. We're fine. Just keep walking away from it. It's over here. You could hear it to the right. It's somewhere to the right. Just keep walking. We're going to go past it, and it's not a problem. But he was panicked, and I was. Yeah, and
I will say there are some insects out there that sound very much like a rattlesnake as well. But yeah, the rattlesnake over the bear, I'll take the rattlesnake bite any day. For one, if it sees you coming and knows what you are and actually bites you, it's typically a defensive bite where there's actually no venom at all injected into you. In fact, I think it's less than 1/3 of the bites on humans are actually venom venomous bites. Most of them are not. So it's just the puncture and all right, big deal. But that said, if you were to get one of the venomous bites, the 1 in 3, the odds of survival are super, super high. It's not like I'm going to die in a minute or two, or I've got an hour to get to the hospital. You've got plenty of time. And I'm not, if you get bit, don't listen to me, but it's not, I've never been bit by a venomous snake. I handle a lot of snakes that are non-venomous. I do pick up rattlesnakes with the proper equipment to move them and stuff. But I know plenty of people that have been bitten by rattlesnakes, and I'm not saying it's a non-event because, it's definitely something you don't want to have happen to you. For one, financially, it's the average rattlesnake bite in the U.S. is over $100,000 for treatment. So you might want to make sure you have insurance.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Stop.
I had no clue.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So
it's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
I got snake gaiters for my legs. Waste of money or something I should buy?
No, I mean, yeah, if you were to get bit, they will stop the bite, depending on what shoes you have underneath. I don't know a lot of times they'll bite the foot, and therefore, depending on how thick your shoes are, the gaiters a lot of times go down, but they don't actually cover the foot, depending on which ones you have. But good to have. The odds on you getting a bite on one would be super remote, but at the same time, if one were to happen, it would save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I have insurance, but I don't want to be bit. I'm not about it.
I wouldn't want to be bit either. So you were just out, and they were putting out a spitting cobra in Bali, and they're supposed to spit at you. They're super dangerous, right? Or no, they're not.
Not so much. Yeah,
it's what we know about snakes.
It's another one of those whole. Yeah, it's like the other whole, like the cobra thing. Oh, it's hooded up. I'm a cobra. That doesn't happen either unless you really corner the snake, and then it's like, all right, I'm going to try and scare you away. But it's like the rattlesnake's buzzing, and you can see when the guy let it go if you watch the video. Like his hands are right next to it, and it doesn't want to bite you. It doesn't want anything to do with you other than to get away from you. So the rattlesnake bites in the U.S., I think statistically, 85% of the bites are males between the age of 19 and 23 that have actually picked up the snake, and that's how they get bit. So if you're just common sense and just don't pick it up, the odds of you getting bit are very, very low unless you happen to actually step on one. And that has happened, or put your hand over a rock when you're climbing where you can't see. Bites like that happen too. So, you're not immune, but the percentage, I think, is super low. I think the bee sting, bees killing you are a lot higher than a rattlesnake killing you. There's a lot of things. I think your toaster is more dangerous than the rattlesnakes.
There is zero chance I'm ever picking up a rattlesnake. There's zero chance I'm picking up a rattlesnake.
This is great information, right? Because most people like me have a fear, an irrational fear, as you say, of snakes. And that's why they should go to your site, watch your videos. You handle all these snakes. It's crazy what you can see on this. Go to his site, Blue Bee. I'm going to link it down below so you guys can go subscribe and watch these videos. They're amazing.
You got to subscribe. You got to subscribe, guys. For several reasons.
If you subscribe, that's awesome. You guys don't have to subscribe, but I always appreciate it.
Yes, they do. They need you to subscribe.
Nice. Here's why you have to subscribe. You have to subscribe because you're going to utilize these snake videos. I watched many of them. And I was always a little bit, we're going to be out in the wild. I'm always worried about, am I going to get bit by a snake? Am I going to be eaten by a bear? Am I going to be eaten by a bear? Am I going to be mauled by a bear? Or am I going to be eaten by a bear? And then again, back to snakes. 3 bears to 2 snakes says you got to know about snakes. And the thing about your videos is it's like you're very elegant in the way you handle them. So if they subscribe, they're going to see every time you put up a new snake video. And you never know the thing you learn that saves your life, or at least saves you from being bitten by a venomous snake. So that's important. That's why I say to subscribe. If there's something good to learn there. Again, the videos are beautiful. There's something very elegant about the way he shoots things. You're missing out if you're not watching.
You're also all over the world. So, you were just in Dubai. You were just in Bali. So these are not just things in your area. This is a travel channel. This is a snake channel. This is a treasure hunting channel. This is a pilot channel.
Right.
Get something of everybody. It's a family channel. So definitely everybody should go subscribe. I really enjoy watching all your videos. So
What is your next? Here's my weird question. So, what's your next trip for treasure hunting? What are you doing next? Are you still past and future up at Tahoe?
Yeah, well, I fly for a company now where the CEO travels to Tahoe quite often. So I'm guessing in the next couple weeks, I'm hoping in the next couple weeks, not that I'm hoping to go to work, but I'm hoping to get up that way because it'll give me an excuse. I don't know if I would, in this, maybe this sounds bad, but I live in Southern California. It's not that far away, but it's just far enough to where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to go on my day off and buy a ticket because it wouldn't just be me; it'd be the wife and most likely the kids, and it turns into a relatively cheap adventure to 4 tickets, hotel. You know, it's like I say, if there's one Bitcoin in there, it's probably worth what, 100 grand or 90 grand. I don't know what it's worth nowadays, but so that it seems kind of ridiculous to not go give it a shot for that kind of money. But at the same time, the odds on you being right still enter your mind, and it's like, do I really want to do that? Now, if I happen to be there anyhow, it's a freebie. It's like,
right,
you know, and this will be awesome, you know. It's a gimme.
For sure.
Exactly. So, and then I also like to video the experience. So if I go up there, whether I find it or not, I'm going to make a video, and that it's easy to do. I'm used to doing it by myself. When I have other people with me, it's more about enjoying the time with them, and it's hard to stop and take all the shots that I want to make the videos that I like to put out when I'm not by myself. Even though I like having people in the videos, there's a lot of times I set a camera down, I walk over it, go back, get it, take the drone up, take the shots, come down, get it. There's a lot that goes on that doesn't hopefully look like it goes on when you watch the videos. It just sort of seems seamless, but to make them look seamless takes actually a lot of effort, more effort than you would think for like an 8-minute video.
No, for sure. In fact, you talk about the drone. So Scott does the bulk of our editing when we're more boots on the ground, and it's like there's a drone following me, and then we're also doing this on a GoPro, and there's all the things. I always say the hardest part of being boots on the ground, outside of having a quality spot and a backup quality spot, if I get there and I realize I've chosen this spot, and then now that I'm here, I can tell that it's wrong. The hardest part is remembering all of the equipment, and the number of times I've forgotten an SD card, more than I'd like to count. More than I'd like to count.
Yeah, it's easy to put stuff down and then not know what rock it was on or buy. And then I would argue the hardest part of the whole thing is actually editing it together at the end, because now you've got to relive all the different angles you took and cut them down from hundreds of hours or tens of hours into a few minutes and make it enjoyable. And it's a love-hate relationship, the whole editing. When I'm done with the video, I'm done. I'm like, oh, all right, I had fun making it, but it's done.
You do a great job with editing, so that's a hard part of all of that. So luckily, we don't even have video shot like that. So yeah, I was just in Tahoe by myself. It's like a 3.5-hour drive for me, so I just drove up that day, hiked all day, and then came home that day. So it's kind of convenient. But I'm also in the Tahoe area, so hopefully maybe we'll see each other out there, and we'll find the box together, and I'll help record everything you need. Yeah, everything you need. We'll get all the different angles. So we won't show anybody for weeks.
So we're both out there.
Yeah.
Well, let's say we're both out there. We're both walking, and we both see it at the same time. Now, who found it?
Well, you'll probably race me to the box. No, you know what? If it was you or anybody else, I just split it with you. So it's plenty of money. So it's supposed to be valued at almost $400,000 to $600,000. So it's plenty to go around.
Oh, is it?
Do we know what's? Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. There's a little bit of a delay. No. Do we know what's in that box exactly? You know,
the only thing they mentioned is the moon rock and the Bitcoin with the Bitcoin.
And there's gold pieces. The case. There's gold pieces in that one.
The Bitcoin case is worth already 20-something thousand. So even though it's Bitcoin of over 100,000, the little token icon or collectible thing is worth another 20 to 30,000 in itself. So things like that. And then, of course, gold and all that. He hasn't said exactly what's in there because he put different. I don't think everything's in the box. So I think that you'll find this box and it's not going to be big. So therefore, some stuff will be in it, like probably the moon rock. But like, you know, some boxes have Pokemon cards or Michael Jordan cards. You're not going to put that out in the elements. You know, there's a huge framed picture that's not going in a box. So I think that a lot of stuff isn't in the box. So you find it. The incentive is you have to call and get the rest of your stuff. So
yeah, well, hopefully his phone number's in there.
it is supposedly it
we
is.
have to figure out how to open the box. Don't forget that part. Like that.
Well, he left instructions.
I think the instructions. Well, I don't want to get into all. Maybe this is a whole other video for you guys, but I know when the word search, you know, you come up with the words, and in between all the words, people have come up with, you know, line them up and all that. I actually think that what that is, that's the directions to open it on the back of the box. Looking at the box, that totally makes sense. Sorry, I'm looking at the box.
There's 5 clues.
Yeah.
There are 5 clues. He
box.
actually says too, an American Treasure, he says that when he was putting the boxes out there, he tried doing each one, and some of them were easier than others, but he actually listed instructions. It's what I always say, that your box isn't just sitting there, it's in a container of some sort, right? When you open the container, there would also theoretically be instructions based on things he said on how to open each box.
I mean,
I didn't know if it was. I didn't know if there was actually any way to open it other than, like, I thought I saw him somewhere say, well, if you can't get it open, get a hold of me and I'll tell you how to open it type thing. So I didn't know if he left instructions how to open it or not.
Yeah, he said he left instructions and his phone number on how to call him, but he left instructions. So obviously instructions got to be protected. This box, it's worth something like $30,000-$40,000. It's got to be protected. So it's got to be in something, right? So is it in a rock pelican case or something, some kind of just
that's
regular
a bummer,
case?
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting that. I hadn't really thought it through that far, other than I have a specific spot I want to go. But I was expecting to kind of roll up on the little box itself and not know how to open it and go, okay, what are we going to do here? And is there his phone number on the bottom of it or something, like with instructions? I'm hoping it's not in a pelican case.
Little Sharpie on the edge, just a little call John.
Yeah,
call John.
No. It's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely got to be in something. He cares so much about these boxes. You're not going to leave if you're expecting to be out there between 5 to 10 years. You're not going to want to put these beautiful boxes. They'll get rusted. They'll get damaged. They'll get, you know.
Well, and again, he says that that's a big part of the treasure in many ways himself, because I mean, these are all one of a kind boxes made by Seth Gould, and so he says he sees them as works of art. So, you know, that means automatically, I mean, I'm thinking it's got to be in like a fake rock or some kind of little pelican case or something. I don't know.
I'm going with fake rock right now. So basically, I check every rock in the area. It's actually the last time I went back to Tahoe is because I had video and it was like brown rock, gray rock, brown rock. And I didn't notice it when I was out there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why? Everywhere else, they're all brown. Why is that one rock gray? It must have been wet or something like that. I went back out there. They were all brown this time. So at least now it's officially eliminated that spot. So.
Yeah, it's great if you can eliminate spots, like fully eliminate them. I'm hoping he didn't bury anything. The whole buried thing.
He's not buried.
Doesn't work for me, I guess.
He's hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I watched your guys' last video too, and you know, I if it was buried, like I wouldn't even go look. To be honest, it just would be. You'd have to, and somehow in a crossword puzzle, you're going to narrow it down to something like, you know, within a 10 foot by 10 foot area would be almost impossible. So
that's my concern for Justin's hunt. That's my concern for Justin's hunt, is that it's buried. Is because, you know, I mean, that again, it's what he knows, right? Is that and like, and you hear over and over about excavating and this and all that through his story. I'm like, oh my gosh, this box is buried. So I of course invested in more.
Buried would be bad.
Buried's bad. I'm agreeing. Buried's bad.
I think with Justin's,
my wife's. Get back over. My wife's going to get back over here because when we went out looking for Forrest Fenn's treasure, she wanted to bring a metal detector because she thought it was buried, right?
Well, yes, right. Help us.
Right. So I've now invested.
I had to eat something.
No, great.
Okay. I have 3 separate kinds of metal detectors. And so I have one that folds up and it like goes with me. And then I have a handheld. And then I have one that's like kind of like more, I guess, what do you call it, industrial strength, where that one doesn't fold down as much. So if we're driving to a location, like we were in Arkansas for Pokemon and stuff like that, that one doesn't break down as easy, but it's like, it's stronger. So we go out there with all 3, but there's some areas where you can't even use a metal detector. So I'm always like, how do you sneak in a
It
full
wasn't like
metal
Yellowstone.
detector?
Wasn't Yellowstone supposed to be one of those places you weren't supposed to use it? Was
Yep.
Yellowstone?
Yep, exactly.
So
I mean, to your point, you know, you would have gone out there and you're like, you did need one. You didn't know you needed one, but I always worry in Justin's hunt that he mentions excavation and digging and this and that so much. I'm like, oh man, I just see digging in our future.
Well, I definitely think if you can bring a metal detector, I tell everybody bring one, and if you can't, bring a handheld one. They don't work as very well because they don't have the range and stuff like that. But if you think it's in a fake rock, I scan rocks all the time. So with that thing, so you just got to be safe. You could turn it on and drag it behind you too when it was snowy. So I did that when it was snowing and I was walking in Tahoe. So, but yeah,
you're a better man than me. What do you think, Sherry?
Well, I heard you guys talking about you don't think they're hidden in the actual treasure box itself. We're talking about the X book, right?
Well, they were talking about those boxes actually being protected because the boxes themselves are pretty cool and valuable. They think maybe that they've hidden those boxes in another box, right? Because those aren't buried; those are sitting out somewhere.
Those are hidden.
You think they're like they're in a slip cover of some sort?
Yeah, like a fake rock or something like that, or something that even a concealed case could be, but they're definitely not out in the open, and they just can't be. They're just too valuable, and the weather would destroy them. Yeah.
Yeah, he says that they're as much a piece of the art and as piece of the treasure as the treasure itself.
Yeah, bring your metal detector. So I think it's what they're made of, like steel and all sorts of metals. Bring the metal detector. She is absolutely right.
It's mostly like 5 kinds of steel. Every box is like this kind of steel and this kind of steel and this kind of steel and a little bit of bronze or like and a little bit of cobalt or something like that. But it's mostly steel. So theoretically, a metal detector should help. If you can get away with it.
Well, that's funny because when we were searching for Finn's treasure, like you wanted nothing to do with the metal detector. He was like, "Why are you bringing that? Like, it's such a pain in the butt. Don't bring that thing."
You have the metal detector. That one was underground. So
that one was underground. It would have been helpful to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, but then again, you're not supposed to bury something in the national park. So who knows?
I know.
But for Justin's, do you think Justin's is buried?
Well, I don't know. I haven't delved into that book enough to
we haven't got
established opinion. I'm still finishing up the other one.
She's finishing up the first ACB book. I say the first book. Yeah. But then we met Justin up at a screening of the show up in Seattle. Yeah. And I wouldn't call it a screening. It was more of a party at a house, but just politically correct, I guess. But and I wasn't trying to get any information out of Justin at all. He just seemed like a super nice guy.
Super nice.
He's great.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
I think his is going to be out there for a while. I know everybody's in the Dillon area, and maybe it's there, but I don't think he. I'm going to say he didn't bury his. That's just going to be a hunch, just based on talking to him. But
I hope you're right. He says something that's really cool. He says that there's a checkpoint, you know, and so when you find it, you'll know. So it's theoretically you're supposed to be a little more pinpoint so that you feel more in alignment. But the best part is, and GM can attest to this, is everybody knows where the checkpoints are. Nobody has a sense of checkpoints amongst us, but everybody knows where the checkpoint is. It's hilarious.
Well, he said if you know where the treasure is.
What that means.
Yeah, exactly. We don't either yet.
A bit of delay, but what is? I mean, like, there's a checkpoint to know you're on the right trail. Does that mean, like, once you found it, you don't need the checkpoint? So it's like, like, does that make it better or worse that there's something you're supposed to be able to find that says you got the right spot? I don't know.
I don't know either, but he does say if you know where it is, it doesn't matter if it's buried. I think there's going to be either like a statue of a bronze Tucker, his dog, or a raccoon, right? Because he's obsessed with raccoons in this book. So maybe there's like a statue on the ground, hey, it might be buried underneath that or something weird like that. So that's why it doesn't matter if it's buried or not, because you're not really looking for that. You're looking for the statue or something. That's just my theory. So
I remember when he said that it wouldn't matter if it was buried or not, and I'm like, ooh, that. I got to think about that a little harder, but that could be very telling as to where it could be. But I haven't come up with anything with that yet.
I mean, it's really easy to say it's not buried. You know what I mean? And the fact that he wouldn't say that tells me it might at least be partially buried, or he's worried that maybe it's not buried, but like leaves and stuff like that or debris will eventually over years cover it up. So maybe he's just covering himself. Who knows? So
I guess in my imagination, I
Mhm.
think like part of when you find it, seeing the glimmer of the edge of the treasure box is like super exciting. Like that's part of the fun. So to have it totally be buried or encased in something else is kind of like, oh, you know, I don't know, but maybe, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't even think about that. So, because the whole scene, the glimmer would be just super exciting. Like, what is that? And then you go dig it up. Instead, now you're like, what is that fake rock over there? Oh, it's a fake rock. How do I open this fake rock to get to my chest that I can't open? So I get it.
That's fair. That's fair. You guys are both so Indiana Jones about you.
You know.
We wanted to hide something. I thought about if we found the Fenn treasure, I wouldn't have hid it all, but I thought about hiding it as well. So, and I started thinking how hard it would actually be to hide a treasure. Like, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but you don't want it to be found overnight, and then you don't want it to never be found. So it would be very difficult to pick a spot, especially if the spot you already had in mind as being like, this is where I want to hide it. This means something to me. And then backward engineer clues that'll get you there. Would be very difficult to do. I don't know. I think after seeing Fenn's and what the most likely, definition of the clues were, I don't know. I'm not happy with that. I'm hoping there was something, buried in his poem that people just didn't find. I think Justin's is going to be well thought out. It's going to be brilliant, and it's not like go to the barking dog, turn left, see the calico cat and go right, and listen for the bird chirp. And
it wasn't quite like that.
It wasn't quite like that, but I don't think there's going to be some Homer Brown that's like reference to some
fish.
Fish that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
I think that had to be hard for the forest fen hunters, and the number of people two things I recognize from the number of fen hunters that we've encountered. One, nobody is really excited with the solve. Everybody's like, nah, maybe I believe it was found and all this, but the solve was just kind of light compared to how it felt to be in the hunt, right? And then the other thing that I found so shocking is the number of people who said, I would have tried to hide part of it again. It's like, it's so selfless, right? It's so selfless. Like, you just want to kind of keep it going, paying it forward. I love that.
Yeah, that or else I was going to leave one. Have you seen those like chocolate candies that look like gold coins? I was going to get a whole box of those and put those in the spot and just like, meh.
Well, if I ever find a box full of gold coin chocolates, I'll know that you found it before me.
Luby's been here.
We had the same spot. Dang it, I should have came out sooner.
It's funny too, because up in Asheville, somebody had a location that they were 100% sure was the AT box from There's Treasure Inside. And they came out, the whole family came out, and they're like, oh guys, the box has been found. And the finder left behind this wallet box with like what was it, a $2 bill? Is that what it was in there?
No, it was like the coin,
a
the
gold
$1
coin.
That's it.
And hey, if you found this, just know I've already found the box. And then it turned out that was not real. But I mean, people are thinking along the same lines. Maybe not. I would have preferred the chocolates. I think I would have preferred the chocolates.
Well, I would have at least put in there, hey, Lou was here first or something, congrats for getting second, or something. I don't know.
I love that you leave chocolate.
We were out in Palm Springs, not to step on top of you there. It was funny because every once in a while we get recognized from the show, and we were in Palm Springs yesterday or the day before, and someone came up to us downtown. They're like, hey, you guys are the treasure hunt people, right? So that's kind of cool. Awesome. I just thought I'd throw that in there just because it happens every once in a while. It's kind of fun.
That was one of my questions, and I'm so sorry. Like, I totally, so I have like a little setup here, and it's not my normal setup, and my dog swiped my paper off, and I'm just trying to work through it. But one of my questions is like, how weird is that? How are you handling that when people just walk up to you off the streets and they clearly know who you are and you have no clue who they are?
It doesn't happen all that often. It's happened a handful of times. And
it happened in Cabo, believe it or not. We were there for our daughter's senior trip, and there was a family there that was like, oh my gosh, like we love that show. We just watched you guys. Is that you? Wow. It exciting. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like it happens enough to where it's like annoying. It's, it's like cool. It's
I don't know if it would ever be annoying, really. It's yeah, everybody's been super nice, and they're all, people that are kind of into it as well. So I had someone email me thinking that the whole show on Netflix was not scripted, but like that I was part of Justin's Hidden Clues as well, and that he was asking me to confirm that I was part of on the show, and I'm like, no, I wish I could tell you that.
There's some interesting characters out there for sure. Some interesting characters, and you're part of Bitten, which had so much speculation, right? And the way that all shook out, people are like, oh no, this is a conspiracy. So you're part of that now. I mean, forever. Actually, it's on Netflix, so it's true, right?
I think it's great. You guys are like the nicest people. So like if I saw you, I usually don't like to bother people, but I would 100% feel comfortable going up to you guys because you're so nice. I know she doesn't care and stuff like that. But you guys are so nice. We love that. I mean, that's the best part of treasure hunters and stuff like that. Is most treasure hunters are just so loving and caring and stuff like that, and just into a fun adventure. So
for sure. When you go to Tahoe next, let us know, because if he's not up there, or maybe he can make it happen, and maybe I'll fly in, and we'd love to come help you document it.
We're both looking for X's, so I think we might really be on the same spot. So
crazy.
I'm going to my X.
Yeah, well, you've already been to that spot, so
no, he hasn't gotten there.
I did not go to my X spot. I went to my waterfall spot. So in the word search, there's a part where it says reward at waterfall. And so I went there. What's it called? It wasn't there. And then, of course, I went back and checked out again. I did go to one X, but I didn't fully search it because I ran out of time. But there's actually 2 X's out there. So I have to go to both X's and stuff. So that is my next trip out there. I'm going to both of them. So we'll see what happens.
I'm in California this week. I'm trying to force him to go up while I'm there.
Yeah, she is. So up and back. We can do that.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
That should be good. So if we get a box flu, we'll be calling you. Oh my
gosh.
Did you found it at the X?
I was just curious.
No, it's fine.
Have you both read both books, Justin's and the X book, back to back? Sorry, I don't remember his name, the writer of the X book.
JCB.
John Black. No, it's okay. JCB.
Yeah.
So, yes, we've read them all.
Both. Yeah, we read it all, but a lot of our focus has been on Justin, because at first it felt like it was going to be solved quicker. But then when you see Justin and you're like, are you nervous about someone finding it? He's like, yeah, no, it's going to happen what happens. I'm like, oh, nobody's close. Nobody's even close to this box. He's just
People were like,
calm. Yeah.
And they were like, why did you
That's why I haven't been we're not in a hurry to start that one, just because after meeting him, I don't know. I just get the impression his is going to be out there for a few years.
You think?
I think. Or it could be found tomorrow. I mean, I don't really know that, but just by talking to him, I think he put a lot of thought and a lot of energy into some subtle stuff. I know he says you just need the poem like Fenn did, I think, but I think there's more to it than I think a lot of people think. And maybe I'm overthinking it. So.
No, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. I think that when you talk about, like you said, he's brilliant, and people, you have to give creed to what he's saying, right? He's like, you can solve it with the poem, but the book itself tells you how to understand who he is, which is how you'll actually solve it. You get in and you start watching all the old videos that he used to make when he was doing Forrest Fenn's hunt, and you hear how he's been thinking about hiding this before it was ever found, like for 2 to 3 years before it was ever found. There's videos of him talking about how he would hide it, what he would do. He's just a different kind of thought process, and he's very analytical. And so I think you're 100% right. I'm thinking 4 to 6 years. I used to be in Montana every other weekend, and now I'm like, I have a minute where I can step back and wait and really refine myself to make sure that wherever it is, I'm looking for the checkpoint. I have no clue what it is. I've got like 7 different options. I'm not clear. And he's like, when you have the checkpoint, you'll know. So I clearly don't have it. And then I'll get out there, because he is a different kind of detail. You're 100% right, I think.
Even if you were, I mean, I don't know, but let's say you knew it was in Montana or even Dillon or whatever, one of those towns. It's like, okay, great. That's a huge area. Like just to like, oh, it's in Dillon. I'm getting a ticket and I'm going out there. It's like, well, all right, where do you start when you're there? And like, it seems like you need a little bit more to go on before you just leave the house. That's how I operate. But and back to the waterfall real quick. You got to your waterfall up there with the water going down. Did you go under the waterfall with your head and over the rock that creates it and underneath the other side? I'm just asking.
Yeah, sadly, it's not that big of a waterfall, so I have video of it.
Yeah, okay.
But I did go under the bridge. I went under the area. I went up, down a little bit. I went up a little bit. I went all around that waterfall. But it's just basically water rushing down the rock. It's not like a waterfall. So I was a little disappointed in it.
I do my research on a lot of that online at home. That's how I do my treasure hunting. I'm kind of an online treasure hunter.
Yeah.
So I've seen YouTube videos of that waterfall. I've taken the Google Earth trail up there virtually to walk by it. And I feel like I've been to the waterfall, even though I haven't. Yeah, it's not really impressive as far as waterfalls go.
That's what you said. I was like, what?
No, but I thought it was under the bridge because it's under in between and stuff like that. So I thought it was under there, maybe in between rocks, maybe something like that. So but it wasn't. But whatever. I'll find out.
I originally thought that as well. I thought the same thing. But then I thought, well, some other person could just stumble across it that wasn't even into treasure hunting, might possibly find that. So it's got to be somewhere that no one's going to stumble across.
It's interesting you say that, because one of the things we had asked him this last round when we interviewed JCB last week is that, is it 100 yards off the pass? Is it 200 yards? And he said, I didn't want anybody to stumble upon it. So I don't think, whereas I used to think it's like within 20 feet of a trail if you're looking on a trail, I now no longer really, I'm more looking more obscure, a little further out now.
If I hit something, I sure wouldn't want somebody to find mine.
Right, that just wasn't into it. That just
you'd hate for someone to just stumble across your chest that you put all this effort into.
Right. What's this fake rock? Oh, I just ruined $1 million industry. Well, we're so grateful, Lou and Sherry, that you spent your time with us today. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions. It means literally the world to us. You are one of our favorite stories in all of Golden Greed, and we hope you'll come back when you find a treasure and tell us all about how you solved it.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
So
thank you guys.
Her 25th anniversary as well. This June.
Oh, really?
June 1st. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Are you going to do something special to celebrate?
No, I'm going to go visit.
She's going to a book signing. So
I'm going to a book. Wow, my anniversary is only this
weekend.
Get
back the day after Tahiti. There's a book signing up in Montana, which we would have gone to.
Well, maybe we just need to change our flight on the way home and hit that.
Stop in Montana.
I love her. I love her. Come on
you would have to sign a bunch of books too, because people would love to see you.
People would go crazy if they saw you there. Yeah, for sure they would go crazy. You'd be blown away. They expect about 400 to 600 people at this point. We'll have you guys on again soon.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your day, guys. Jam, thank you for your help, and we'll get this out to everybody as soon as possible.